The Moonlit Meadow and Sleepy Paws. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a magical meadow that only came alive under the light of the full moon. This meadow was called Moonlit Meadow, and it was a place where dreams floated like fireflies and the air smelled of lavender and honey. Every night, when the moon was round and bright, the animals of the forest would gather there to share stories, sing lullabies, and help each other drift off to sleep. On one such night, a tiny kitten named Sleepy Paws wandered into the meadow. Sleepy Paws had soft, silky fur the color of twilight and little white paws that glowed like stars. But despite her name, Sleepy Paws had trouble falling asleep. She would toss and turn, her mind filled with thoughts of adventures and wonders. Her friends in the village had told her about the moonlit meadow, and she hoped it might help her find the rest she needed. As Sleepy Paws stepped into the meadow, she was greeted by a gentle breeze that carried the scent of blooming flowers. The grass beneath her paws felt like a soft blanket, and the moonlight painted everything in a silvery glow. She saw rabbits curled up in cozy burrows, owls humming soothing tunes, and even a family of deer resting under a giant oak tree. In the center of the meadow sat a wise old tortoise named Mr. Starlight. His shell sparkled with tiny specks of light, and his eyes twinkled like the stars above. He was known as the Keeper of Dreams, and he had a special gift for helping little ones find their way to sleep. "Hello, little one," Mr. Starlight said in a voice as soft as a whisper. "What brings you to the moonlit meadow tonight?" Sleepy Paws yawned and stretched her tiny paws. "I can't seem to fall asleep no matter how hard I try. My mind is always buzzing with thoughts, and I don't know how to quiet it." Mr. Starlight smiled kindly. "Ah, I see. Well, you've come to the right place. The moonlit meadow is filled with magic that can help even the busiest minds find peace. Would you like to hear a story?" Sleepy Paws nodded eagerly and curled up beside Mr. Starlight. The other animals gathered around, their eyes glowing softly in the moonlight. The Tale of the Starry Brook. Mr. Starlight began. Once, there was a little brook that flowed through the heart of the forest. This wasn't an ordinary brook. It was called the Starry Brook because its waters shimmered with tiny lights, like stars dancing on the surface. The animals of the forest believed that the brook carried dreams from one end of the world to the other. One night, a little fox named Whisper couldn't sleep. She had been exploring all day, and her mind was filled with excitement. She decided to follow the Starry Brook, hoping it would lead her to a place of calm. As Whisper walked along the brook, she noticed that the stars in the water seemed to sing. Their song was soft and gentle, like a lullaby. She sat by the water's edge and listened, her eyelids growing heavier with each note. The stars told her stories of faraway lands, of clouds that turned into pillows, and of a moon that tucked every creature into bed. Before she knew it, Whisper was fast asleep, her dreams carried away by the Starry Brook. When she woke up the next morning, she felt refreshed and happy, as if the brook had given her the most peaceful night's rest she had ever known. As Mr. Starlight finished the story, Sleepy Paws felt her own eyelids growing heavy. The meadow seemed to hum with a gentle, soothing energy. The fireflies danced around her, their lights flickering like tiny stars, and the breeze carried the scent of lavender, wrapping her in a cozy blanket of calm. "Now, close your eyes, little one," Mr. Starlight whispered. "Imagine the starry brook flowing beside you, its gentle waters carrying away all your worries. Let the moonlight guide you to a place of peace and rest." Sleepy Paws did as she was told. She closed her eyes and pictured the starry brook, its shimmering waters glowing softly in the night. She felt the warmth of the meadow around her, the gentle hum of the animals' lullabies, and the soft glow of the moon above. Slowly, her breathing became steady, her paws relaxed, and her mind drifted into a deep, dreamless sleep. The animals of the moonlit meadow smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleepy Paws," as they too settled down to rest. And from that night on, Sleepy Paws knew that whenever she needed help falling asleep, she could visit the magical meadow and let its soothing magic carry her away. The Dreamweaver's Gift. The next night, Sleepy Paws returned to the moonlit meadow, her little paws glowing like tiny stars as she padded through the soft grass. She had slept so well after her first visit, but tonight she felt a little restless again. The meadow was just as magical as she remembered, with fireflies dancing in the air and the gentle hum of the animals' lullabies filling the night. As she approached the center of the meadow, she saw Mr. Starlight waiting for her, his shell shimmering under the moonlight. Beside him stood a new friend, a delicate silvery spider named Luna the Dreamweaver. Luna's web glistened like a tapestry of stars, and her eyes sparkled with kindness. "Welcome back, Sleepy Paws," Mr. Starlight said with a warm smile. "This is Luna. She weaves dreams into her webs, creating the most beautiful stories for those who visit the meadow. Perhaps she can help you find your way to sleep tonight." Luna waved one of her delicate legs. "Hello, Sleepy Paws. I've heard you've been having trouble sleeping. Would you like to hear about the dreams I weave?" Sleepy Paws nodded, her curiosity piqued. She curled up beside Mr. Starlight and watched as Luna began to spin her web. With every thread she wove, tiny sparkles of light appeared, forming pictures in the air. "The tale of the Cloud Castle," Luna began. "High above the moonlit meadow, far beyond the tallest trees, there is a place called the Cloud Castle. It's a magical palace made entirely of fluffy white clouds, where the sky is always painted in shades of pink and gold. The castle is home to the Dreamweavers, a group of kind creatures who spend their days crafting dreams for children and animals alike. One night, a little bird named Feather couldn't sleep. She had flown so far that day, and her wings were tired, but her mind was still racing. She fluttered up to the Cloud Castle, hoping the Dreamweavers could help her. When she arrived, she was greeted by a gentle breeze that carried the scent of vanilla and honey. The Dreamweavers welcomed her with open arms and invited her to rest on a cloud as soft as a pillow. They began to weave a special dream just for her. In her dream, Feather found herself floating on a calm, glassy lake. The water was warm, and the stars above reflected on its surface, making it seem as though she were swimming through the sky. She felt weightless and free, her worries melting away with every ripple. The Dreamweavers whispered soothing words, telling her to let go of her thoughts and simply drift. When Feather woke up the next morning, she felt refreshed and light, as if she had been carried by the clouds all night. From that day on, she knew she could always visit the Cloud Castle whenever she needed a peaceful dream. As Luna finished her story, Sleepy Paws felt a wave of calm wash over her. The images of the Cloud Castle and the gentle lake lingered in her mind, and she could almost feel the softness of the clouds beneath her. Luna's web glowed brighter, and the sparkles of light floated down like tiny stars, surrounding Sleepy Paws in a cocoon of warmth. "Now, close your eyes," Luna whispered. "Imagine yourself floating on a cloud high above the meadow. Feel the softness beneath you and the gentle breeze carrying you higher and higher. Let the dream weavers guide you to a place of peace and rest." Sleepy Paws closed her eyes and did as Luna said. She pictured herself lying on a fluffy cloud, the stars twinkling above her and the moon casting a gentle glow. She felt weightless and free, her worries drifting away like feathers on the wind. Slowly, her breathing became steady, her paws relaxed, and her mind drifted into a deep, dream-filled sleep. The animals of the moonlit meadow smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleepy Paws," as they too settled down to rest. And from that night on, Sleepy Paws knew that whenever she needed help falling asleep, she could visit the magical meadow and let its soothing magic carry her away. The Whispering Woods and the Sleepy Stars. On the third night, Sleepy Paws returned to the moonlit meadow once more. This time, she felt a little different. Her heart was light, and her paws barely made a sound as she walked through the soft, dewy grass. The meadow was alive with its usual magic. Fireflies danced in the air, the stars twinkled brightly, and the gentle hum of lullabies filled the night. But tonight, something new awaited her. As she approached the center of the meadow, she saw Mr. Starlight and Luna the Dreamweaver, but they weren't alone. Sitting beside them was a tiny, glowing creature with wings like gossamer and a voice as soft as a whisper. This was Stella the Starling, the keeper of the Whispering Woods. "Welcome back, Sleepy Paws," Mr. Starlight said warmly. "This is Stella. She watches over the Whispering Woods, a magical forest where the trees sing lullabies and the stars come down to rest. She has a special story to share with you tonight." Stella fluttered her glowing wings and smiled. "Hello, Sleepy Paws. I've heard you've been visiting the meadow to find peace and rest. Tonight, I'll tell you about the Whispering Woods and how it helps little ones like you fall asleep." Sleepy Paws curled up beside her friends, her eyes wide with wonder. Stella began to glow brighter, and the air around them filled with the soft sound of rustling leaves and distant melodies. The Tale of the Whispering Woods. Stella began. "Beyond the moonlit meadow, there is a forest called the Whispering Woods. This forest is unlike any other. Its trees are tall and ancient, their leaves shimmering like silver in the moonlight. But the most magical thing about the Whispering Woods is that the trees can sing. Every night, as the stars come out, the trees begin to hum gentle lullabies, their voices blending together in a symphony of calm. One night, a little hedgehog named Pip couldn't sleep. He had been busy gathering berries all day, and his mind was filled with thoughts of his next adventure. He wandered into the Whispering Woods, hoping to find some peace. As Pip walked deeper into the forest, he heard the trees begin to sing. Their voices were soft and soothing, like a mother's lullaby. The leaves rustled in harmony, and the wind carried the melody through the air. Pip felt his worries slowly melt away. He found a cozy spot beneath a giant oak tree and curled up in a bed of moss. As he closed his eyes, the trees sang to him, their voices wrapping him in a blanket of warmth and comfort. The stars above twinkled brightly, and one by one they floated down from the sky, settling on the branches of the trees like tiny lanterns. Pip felt as though he were being cradled by the forest itself. The lullabies grew softer and softer until they were nothing more than a whisper. And before he knew it, Pip was fast asleep, his dreams filled with the gentle melodies of the whispering woods. As Stella finished her story, Sleepy Paws felt a deep sense of calm wash over her. The images of the whispering woods and the singing trees lingered in her mind, and she could almost hear the soft hum of the lullabies. The fireflies around her glowed brighter, and the stars above seemed to twinkle in rhythm with the story. "Now close your eyes," Stella whispered. "Imagine yourself in the whispering woods, surrounded by tall, ancient trees. Listen to their gentle lullabies and feel the warmth of the stars above. Let the forest guide you to a place of peace and rest." Sleepy Paws closed her eyes and did as Stella said. She pictured herself lying on a soft bed of moss, the trees singing their soothing lullabies and the stars glowing like tiny lanterns. She felt safe and warm, as though the forest itself were cradling her. Slowly, her breathing became steady, her paws relaxed, and her mind drifted into a deep, dream-filled sleep. The animals of the moonlit meadow smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleepy Paws," as they too settled down to rest. And from that night on, Sleepy Paws knew that whenever she needed help falling asleep, she could visit the magical meadow and let its soothing magic carry her away. The starry sea and the sleepy tides. On the fourth night, Sleepy Paws returned to the moonlit meadow, her heart filled with a sense of calm she hadn't felt before. The meadow was as magical as ever, with fireflies painting the air with golden light and the soft hum of lullabies drifting through the night. But tonight, something extraordinary awaited her. As she approached the center of the meadow, she saw Mr. Starlight, Luna the Dreamweaver, and Stella the Starling, but they were gathered around a shimmering pool of water that hadn't been there before. The pool sparkled like liquid starlight, and floating above it was a graceful, glowing swan named Celeste the Starry Swan. "Welcome back, Sleepy Paws," Mr. Starlight said with a gentle smile. "This is Celeste. She watches over the starry sea, a magical body of water that reflects the night sky and carries the dreams of all who gaze upon it. She has a special story to share with you tonight." Celeste glided gracefully across the shimmering pool, her feathers glowing softly. "Hello, Sleepy Paws," she said in a voice as soothing as the lapping of waves. "Tonight, I'll tell you about the starry sea and how its gentle tides can help you find the deepest, most peaceful sleep." Sleepy Paws curled up beside her friends, her eyes wide with wonder. Celeste began to glow brighter, and the air around them filled with the soft sound of gentle waves and distant melodies. The Tale of the Starry Sea. Celeste began, "Far beyond the whispering woods, there is a place called the Starry Sea. This sea is unlike any other. Its waters are as smooth as glass and shimmer with the light of 1,000 stars. When the moon is full, the sea comes alive, and its tides carry the dreams of all who rest beside it. One night, a little otter named Marina couldn't sleep. She had been playing in the river all day, and her mind was filled with thoughts of the adventures she'd had. She wandered to the edge of the starry sea, hoping to find some peace. As Marina sat by the water's edge, she noticed that the stars above were reflected perfectly in the sea, making it seem as though the sky had fallen into the water. The waves lapped gently against the shore, their rhythm steady and calming. Marina felt her worries slowly drift away. She lay down on the soft sand and closed her eyes. As she listened to the gentle sound of the waves, she felt as though the sea were singing her a lullaby. The stars above twinkled brighter, and one by one they floated down from the sky, settling on the surface of the water like tiny lanterns. Marina felt as though she were floating on the sea, cradled by its gentle tides. The waves grew softer and softer until they were nothing more than a whisper. And before she knew it, Marina was fast asleep, her dreams carried away by the starry sea. As Celeste finished her story, Sleepy Paws felt a deep sense of calm wash over her. The images of the starry sea and the gentle tides lingered in her mind, and she could almost hear the soft lapping of the waves. The fireflies around her glowed brighter, and the stars above seemed to twinkle in rhythm with the story. "Now, close your eyes," Celeste whispered. "Imagine yourself by the starry sea, its waters shimmering with the light of 1,000 stars. Listen to the gentle sound of the waves and feel the soft sand beneath you. Let the sea guide you to a place of peace and rest." Sleepy Paws closed her eyes and did as Celeste said. She pictured herself lying on the soft sand, the waves lapping gently against the shore and the stars glowing like tiny lanterns. She felt as though she were floating on the sea, cradled by its gentle tides. Slowly, her breathing became steady, her paws relaxed, and her mind drifted into a deep, dream-filled sleep. The animals of the moonlit meadow smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleepy Paws," as they too settled down to rest. And from that night on, Sleepy Paws knew that whenever she needed help falling asleep, she could visit the magical meadow and let its soothing magic carry her away. As you listen to this story, let your mind drift to the starry sea. Imagine the gentle waves lapping against the shore and the stars glowing like lanterns above. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and let the magic of the sea guide you to a peaceful sleep. Good night, little one. Sleep tight.